today is organized by the Department of Architecture and Interior Design at University of Bahrain, or at University of Bahrain, and we're going to explain about LUMION. Throughout the webinar, I will be giving step-by-step how to navigate yourself inside LUMION, how to bring your model from your original 3D software, and how to create renders. And at the end, we're going to also learn how to make some amazing animations. For that reason, let us first start with the presentation that I'm showing. At the beginning of any renders or any model, I would just ask you some few questions, and I would like to be pleased to go to menti.com. Menti.com, this is the website, and please enter the code, or you can use the QR code for entering this. And also, I will post the link inside the Teams right now. So let me see, what do you think about? So the link now is posted in the chat, and we will be able now to go to menti.com and see some of the responses for you.
Welcome, Ms Shurooq. All the best.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Are you able to enter into Menti? Okay, so the first question is, which software do you use for architectural visualization? And for now, some students are using LUMION, some are using Revit. Okay, V-Ray, this is good. Inkscape, again, Twinmotion. Okay, so Twinmotion. Second option is your Revit. Okay, so most of you are using Inkscape, Twinmotion, V-Ray, Revit, and LUMION. Again, Revit, Twinmotion is coming more. This is good. Okay, so most of you guys are using Revit with Twinmotion and Revit with LUMION, I guess. And what about SketchUp? Anyone is using SketchUp for visualization? Or no one? Okay, I guess no one is using SketchUp. So this is good. You're using Revit with Twinmotion or Revit with you. Okay, some of you are using LUMION. This is good. So the second question is, if I asked you what makes a good architectural visualization, and let us see what actually you are responding. So making it realistic, perspective, okay, sense of life, good, realistic level, materials, lighting, very good, people, you mean like human figures, okay, the sense of experience, the renders, perfect, very good. Lighting, materials, realistic. So almost everyone is agreeing on realistic and renders to be the most makes a good visualization for your 3D. Thank you very much for participating into this. And now let us go back again to the presentation that we were just explaining about. So before I start LUMION, I found it is really useful to talk a little bit about how can we make a good architectural visualization. Either you are using LUMION or any other software, there are some guidelines. There is no rules to do renders, but basically there are some guidelines that will help you in like getting good architectural visualization. To start with, I always recommend that you start sketching your story. So deal with your architectural visualization or render as a story that it needs to be written, a story that needs to be planned. Okay, so sketch your story. How can you sketch? Piece of paper and a pen. and try to plan what you are going to have in this scene or this visualization. So try to place your model just roughly in the piece on this paper, and then try to plan where exactly you're going to put human figures, where exactly you're going to put your trees. What about the nature? Are you going to move some cars at the beginning of your animation or at the beginning of your render? So planning or sketching your scene before you start is really important. Don't keep it to the software, because sometimes what happens is that you are not focused, and the main story that you are trying to tell by giving this or by doing this 3D is not achieved. So the first step that I all recommend you to do it is to sketch your story first. See what you want to show and what you don't want to show. So this is the first step. The second step is to work on your main actor. So your main actor basically is your building, your model itself. Work on your main actor. How you can work on it? Give it as much details as you can, because a model without the details, without a proper placing of windows, doors, or any other elements will not appear good in your render. So again, as a reminder, when you are trying to model it in an accurate way, in a detailed way. So when you come to present it, it gives you the most suitable renders and the most achievable according to what you want. The third recommendation is now let us start to add some supporting actors. So after we added the main actor, which is our building, we are going to add some supporting actors like materials, objects, lightings, camera, and finally effects. And we're going to learn about all this just in a few seconds inside Lumion, step by step, from getting the model from your 3D software until you finish it with a totally complete movie for your animation. So Lumion basically is a very important software. It is based on something that we call it live render engine. What I mean by live is that just directly you are able to see anything that you are changing. So when you change a color, you are directly can see it. Not like other like V-Ray, you cannot see it directly. You need to render to see your final result. But in Lumion, it is a little bit different. So it is breathing life inside your renders and making the process simple and enjoyable. And it's also helping to show the beauty and the personality of your project and makes the experience more visible for everyone to see it before it's actually built. So it's a really powerful tool to start your designs with. Let us now breathe life with Lumion, and let us now directly go to Lumion software and try to share it with you. Okay, so now I will start sharing Lumion. So this is the interface that you are going to see once you start Lumion. Let us first look for any example. So here inside Lumion, there are some stored examples done already by the company itself. And we can just pick any of them to take a look about what are the capabilities of the software that you are using. It is really important to know what are the capabilities that you are having inside the software. Why? Because this helps you to achieve what you actually want from your design. And you can put in mind before that Lumion has this kind of a property or this kind of tool which will help me to show more of my project. So the capabilities of any project or the capability of any software is actually very important when you are trying to visualize your project. So this is an example project inside Lumion. And as you can see, easily, everything is just there. You're building elements, trees, greenery, and even some water inside the swimming pool. And Lumion is actually one of the most what are we saying, like it is a revolving company, and they are bringing a lot of new features. They are working a lot on their softwares. Since I started working with Lumion, it was 2015. So I worked on Lumion 6. Now we are having Lumion 11, and a lot of changes is happening into Lumion. A lot of new features that adds more realistic view for your project, and it helps you more into visualization. So Lumion is one of the companies, as I said, that it's adding a lot. So if you are a Lumion user or you are planning to use Lumion, so keep updated by opening the website of Lumion, and then you will be able to know what are the new features added to each of the new versions of Lumion. So now I will take you to the beginning of Lumion, and we will start learning how can we get our models inside Lumion. So simply here, again, in the interface of Lumion, you can create a new file for yourself. You can look for examples similar to what I did. You can look to the benchmark. So Lumion will start benchmarking your computer properties according to a certain levels or something like this. So if we clicked on the benchmark, you can see that how your graphics card is working, graphics memory, processor, but about the memory of the system itself. So you can now start ranking your computer. There are a lot of ways that you can increase this benchmark, or you can increase the performance of your computer while using Lumion. Or you can load a project. That means that if you are working on something already before and you want to continue working on it, so you can load it, you can save, and finally you can save as, which is the usual icons that we have in any other software. I will start creating a new Lumion project. And when you start creating a new Lumion project, again, the company or the software is providing some ready presets where you can start from them, or you can take them as the starting point and you can continue on. So here I have a plain environment, totally plain environment. And then we have a beach environment, a mountain, something like here tropical, and maybe like inside a city. And this is finally very good to just show your design in a totally white atmosphere. So it's good for design process or any design movement if you want to show. So for now, I'm going to take like this mountain range for a certain purpose that we're going to see just in a few seconds. So inside Lumion, the first thing that you need to learn is how to navigate yourself inside Lumion. Inside Lumion, you have two ways to navigate yourself. First, you're going to use your mouse. So if you are now, of course, in front of your mouse, and if you are opening Lumion, the right click of your mouse will help you to go around the view. And the left click will help you to select anything. We're going to look how to select multiple stuff here. And inside your keyboard, actually 6 main keyboard icons or keyboard parts are helping to navigate inside Lumion, so you can easily look to them in your keyboard right now. It's Q, W, E, and A, S, D. So Q will take you up, and then E will take you down. A will take you to the left, and D will take you to the right. W will take you to front, like zoom in, and S will take you to the back or zoom out. So again, there are Q, W, E, A, S, and D. Those 6 keyboard icons will help you to navigate yourself inside Lumion and will help you to move to look according to what you want inside the software. Like also a small tip for you, if you want to do it like faster, like we're going Q up and you want to do it faster, while you are clicking on Q, click on Shift at the same time so you can go faster, or clicking on Control to go slower than the usual. So back again, this is the regular movement of Lumion, and this is with the Shift increased, and this is with Control to go slower and slower. So now you are able to navigate yourself inside Lumion. Let us take a look about what are the tools that we have at the beginning of Lumion. First, we have those 4 tabs, starting with the library, materials, landscape, and then finally the weather. Those are the 4 main tabs that we are going to control inside Lumion. And on the right, you're going to find the build environment. So here, since we are already inside the software, like the building environment, then this icon is opened. This icon if you want to take a photo render, and this one for a movie render. This one if you want to take a 360 panorama. And yes, you can use the VR for Lumion, a very easy way. And finally, files will take you back again to the original interface or the beginning interface. So I will back again. And the first thing that I'm going to do now is to teach you how to put your model inside Lumion. To put your model inside Lumion, you have two ways. The first way is that you just have to export the model from any software that you are using into a 3D like a model or a 3D file, and then you're going to import it inside Lumion. The second way is to use something called the live synchronization tool. To make it easier for you now, I will share my whole screen showing my model on SketchUp and again how it is inside Lumion. So this is SketchUp. Just come back again. And this is Lumion. And this is actually the model that I'm going to work on here inside Lumion. So the live synchronization tool is a tool that can be added on almost any 3D software. And this is something good about Lumion company. Lumion is almost compatible to most of the softwares that you are using. So it's compatible with Revit, it's compatible with AutoCAD, with SketchUp, with Rhino, if you are using Rhino. And with more than this, the live synchronization tool is just going to take your model in a live way inside Lumion. So if I'm back again here, and then I will click on Start, the same way in all of the other softwares. Almost the same icon, you just have to click on Start, and then the model will show. One more question is that where I can get this icon from, or this, plugin or add-on or extension. You're gonna find it in the website, the main original website of Lumion. And inside the support tab, downloads, and then you'll be able to download any plugin for any of the softwares that you are using. So this is the SketchUp model, and see when I click on live synchronization, what happens is that, give it a few seconds, it's gonna take your model in a live way directly inside Lumion. Yes. So my model is showing here directly. Why the live synchronization is good, and actually I recommend to use it in the phase of you are just starting to modify your file, like your design is not the end model and you want to start, because anytime I do any change here, the change is updated directly inside Lumion. So here again, if I added this change, it is directly updated inside Lumion. So you don't need to go back again to the original 3D software, update it, and come back to Lumion. Directly, it could be updated. So again, this live synchronization tool or plugin, extension, or add-on going to be available on the website, Lumion website. You can just download it, and it will be inside your any software according to what you download. It is available for Revit, for SketchUp, for Rhino, AutoCAD, and for different softwares. For now, it's not available for 3ds Max, but we're able to use any model that we create on 3ds Max on the other way. So now we're gonna teach you how to do it, not with the live synchronization, in case if you are using 3ds Max, but more of the regular importing method. Okay, so the regular importing method is actually very easy. I'm gonna delete this. First, there are some steps and guidelines that are important to make you successfully import any model inside Lumion. The first step that you need to take care about is, please, you have to put it near to the origin point. Here my model is almost near the origin point, so I can even move it a little bit to the origin point. Why? Because when you try to import, then the same origin point of Lumion and your original 3D software will be able to track, and you will be able to find your model exactly in this Lumion origin point. If not, and you are placing it very away, the end result will be somewhere that you cannot see, and then you will find that you cannot see your model. So the first guideline is to put your model next to the origin point. The second guideline, if you have any group similar to what we have here, I'm gonna take it just somewhere here. I will tell you why I'm putting this box actually. for a certain purpose. Any group, you need to explode this group, so you don't have to bring any groups inside. So if you are using SketchUp or any other software, you just need to explode the model, keep each face alone. So this is the second guideline. The third guideline, that you need to work on the materials. So every surface that is going to have such a material need to be assigned, a material need to be assigned inside your original 3D software. Why this is important? Because you will see now when we go to Lumion, since all those surfaces are within the same material, inside Lumion, when you try to add material, all those surfaces will take the same material. So it is important to assign materials and different materials to each surface that you want to assign a material to in the Lumion software itself. So here in this simple model that I created for you, you're going to find that each surface that I wanted to give a different material inside Lumion is actually giving a material inside SketchUp. So this is the third guideline. So what we said, next to the origin point, explode any of the any of these surfaces or the groups, and then what you need to do is to assign materials for each of them, and finally any unnecessary element that you don't want, maybe this box, if I don't want to, you can just delete it before you get to Lumion. So if you are using any software, I do recommend that if you are placing any trees or something like this, delete them, because I'm sure that you're gonna use the trees and the nature and the objects that are gonna be available inside Lumion. So let us go to Lumion and start importing our model, or we can just use the live synchronization tool. What I want to show you before we go, if I imported this model, then again, I can just select, and then I will deselect this one. And then I will click on File. I will export it into 3D model. And then in the 3D model, I can just put it inside a folder here. This is the model, export. And now I have my model. And then again, the model now is exported in a very easy way. And I will export this one also because I want to show you a trick. So here I can export this one again, and I will just call it a box, not more than this, and then export. So let's say, for example, you want to import your project, but the project is containing more than one, let's say, more than one element, more than one building. You have different stuff happening around, so you need to export each of them maybe individually, so you can work on each of them individually. So if we went back here to Lumion and I want to import, what you need to go is to go first to the library tab. The first thing that you need to go, library tab, and the first thing that we're gonna cover here. So the library tab has many different tabs, and the first is imported model, and this is the thing that we're gonna use to import our SketchUp model. This is the point, and you need to go to import new model, and inside new model you can take the workshop. I don't think that the box is here. Okay, so this is fine. Yes, the box is here. So this is my workshop model, and ask you if you want to change or anything else. I will keep it as just workshop, and then your model will be imported inside Lumion. You just give it a few seconds until the software import. And as you all know, the Lumion itself is a heavy software. It's not an easy one, so you need to be a little bit patient with it. So this is my imported model, and now I need to place it, the place icon, and then I place the model, and here I can find my model. So this is what you need to do at the beginning. I bring my model, and now it is placed, and now we will start working on the model from different perspectives. After you import the model, we're going to cover all this just in a few minutes, but let me go first to the weather. The weather tab inside Lumion is a very strong feature where you can actually change the weather in a live way just while you are working. So you can change the sun direction, north, east, south, west. You can change the sun height. So I can make it like something more night, even more night, or early morning. And I can work on the brightness of the sun, increase or decrease. I can work on the cloudness, everything live according to what you want. And of course, we will learn when we go and try to render any of those photos, we're going to see that we can override this all and we put and add more of those kind of changes about our weather inside the rendering phase. A new feature added to Lumion is that you can use something called the real skies. Before we use the real skies, you can change the cloud. So you can change any of those clouds and you change the way that they are looking. And you can use something called the real skies. Real skies is a real high definition skies from all around the world, so different countries. And actually they are categorized cloudy, evening, morning, overcast, sunset, clear, and finally night. So you can just click on any of those real skies, and the real effect of this sky will be added to your scene. So again, you can do it with the evening maybe. See now here, this is a high definition picture. And in this case, you cannot change the height. The only thing that you can change is the direction of this real sky mode around your project. I will close the real sky for now because we want to continue controlling onto this somehow. And I will also want you to see the effect of the wind speed and the wind direction. So if I increase the wind speed, actually the grass here is moving. So this is we are breathing life inside Lumion. And again, you can change the direction of your wind. So you can increase the speed, decrease it, change the direction, anything you want, just with a few clicks inside the weather tab. This is the first tab. The second tab that I'm going to cover is the landscape tab. So for the landscape tab, it is not only that you can get the model from your original software, but again, you can work on the surrounding site of the software itself. How can we work on the surrounding site? But you have to remember that this will only apply on the real, like the main, or we can say that the original landscape of the software. So you cannot import a model and you are putting actually around a floor and you want to do those stuff on a floor. It will only work on the original landscape floor of the software. So what is the landscape part or the one landscape tab? As I said, it's going to work on the surrounding area of your model. It has different tabs: height, water, ocean, paint, OpenStreetMap, and finally the landscape grass. The first one is the height. From the name, we'll be able to add some heights to this landscape, and you can see that my model is on purpose like flying, because now we want to add some landscape heights under this model. So what are the options that I have? I can raise, lower, flatten, jitter, smooth, all for the landscape. And of course, you can now control the brush size. You see here the brush. Let me go higher so you can see the brush. It is showing in yellow circular boundary. This is the circle or the brush. And you can, of course, see the brush speed. So if I increase this one and this is raised, let me do it something like this. If this is with low speed, I can only add this kind of raising in our landscape, or I can speed it up and now more will be added in a form of a mountain. I can go undo, but remember, not much undo are applicable. Like you have 2 or 3 undos and then you have to take care about what you are trying to do. So here, for example, I will decrease the speed. I will increase a little bit the size, and I want to raise the land here under my model. So I will go back here. Let going up a little bit, and again navigating through, and I will decrease the brush a little bit here. I will use this around to create a level around my model from different angles and from different perspectives. Here. Don't worry, we're gonna fix all the issues here before we go. So here, somehow like this, and then I can go with smoothing it. So I will try to smooth it here a little bit, something like this. Here it's more smoother, and I will again raise here a little bit here from the down part, again here. And let's say this is the way that I want my house to be showing just around my my landscape around my house. And of course you can flatten, so you can make this one totally flat. You can jitter it, so we are giving it some random up and downs, something like this. And of course you can just smooth, similar to what I just did. I'm just trying to raise it somehow here more. I will decrease the brush, yes, something like this, to create kind of a ramp around my building. And then again I will try to smooth it a little bit around. Okay. And here for the stair or the steps that I have here on top, I'm gonna make it a little bit lower, so I'm gonna take it lower here, down, something like this. And I'm gonna teach you just in a few seconds another tip for you, and a very useful tip. So moreover, we'll say that this is enough. So this is regarding the height part in your landscape tab. The second part is the water. So you are able to place a water feature here. Okay, but the water feature, of course, you can choose. So we have 6 different features: ocean, tropical, pond, mountain, dirt, and finally ice. So I will use tropical maybe. And the only thing about this, that it is only going to be a flat surface. There are more options regarding adding water into your project, and we're going to take a look about them just in a few minutes. And you can take it up, you can take it down. You can now increase the area of the water around. And as you can see, it is pretty much realistic, moving with the wind movement. The tip that I want to show you, of course, we can just delete it. And just a small tip for you: when you try to delete any object in Lumion, you have to click on this origin point. Every object in Lumion has an origin point, when you can just click on it and then you delete it. Or you want to move it, the same thing also. The tip that I want to show you, if we come back here again to this one, and let me move this one, the water, I will move it a little bit down. I will go back to the height, go to the lower, and I will increase a little bit the brush here. And I will start lowering this back to here. I will try to take it a little bit more lower here. So, and again to here, I will take it down. So I'm able to create kind of, I will increase the area of my water around. So I'm creating a river, like in a very easy way, and a very, let's say, it's natural way. And when you go lower and lower, you will be able to see that even it is giving like darker shades here, as you can see. And as much as you do, and as much as you place this, you will have the river around your area. So simply now what we did is that we created a river around, or like a lake around, something like this. And this is our building here in between. So this is one of the amazing features inside Lumion. The third thing that we need to learn about is the ocean. So I can have an ocean, open it or close it, and it's a very realistic ocean if you are planning to apply it on or over your building. So if the ocean is on, what things that I can change? Of course, I can change the height. So here I can go down and increase it. In Lumion, to change any of those parameters or any of those different like different tools or something like this, you have three options. Either to work it with something like this, to drag the bar itself, or to use the double click. If you click doubly and then here you have this red icon, you will be able to type the amount that you want. Maybe here I just wanted 10, something like this, 1, this is it. Or finally, you can just you can keep it like this and then you try to type it around. I will go show you again how things will do. If you want to move it like very small movement, as we said, shift will help you to move it very small movements, as you can see, just with small digits, not even with numbers, small digits up and down. What things I can control into this ocean? I can control the wave intensity. What about the color? Again, here the brightness of this and the shade of your ocean. So all of these things that we can control, and as you can see, anything that you change is directly implemented around and directly reflected around your model. I will close the ocean now, since we want to come back to this calm view. And I will go now for the paint. The paint will allow you to paint the landscape around and to override this landscape to any of those materials. So you can just have to click the type and then change the material around different landscape materials. See, this is different. And if you want to assign this to it, then you have to just decrease the brush. You can add, and we can add even a little bit small here. Let me add this around. You see, some realistic rocks here and there could be added to your project. For now, I will keep it just back as grass, and this will be like more enough for me to do it inside your Lumion. And of course, you can change the landscape around. So those are all presets. You can make it like mountain view. You can make it with totally sand around. You can make it with here something like this, more realistic. So it depends on how you want the landscape around to work. Then again, you can control. So this is again something that you can control inside Lumion itself. It doesn't need to be done on original place, but it needs only for you to be here inside Lumion. So going to the OpenStreetMap, and actually this is a very interesting tool, the OpenStreetMap. So let's say that this building actually is appearing not in such an area, but basically it is appearing in a real environment, for example, in Bahrain. So you need to go to the OpenStreetMap and then open the street map, and then it will take you to something very interesting. You just need to click here, and I will go directly to Bahrain, and it will request me to choose where is the area that I want to locate my project into. Let's say the area I want to create on something empty, so it is not maybe here in the middle of the park or something like this here. And then you just have to check on the heights and then the satellite maps, and then you start the OpenStreetMap download. Okay, but only because my building is flying. So now you are getting a real buildings modeled for you according to a real situation inside Bahrain. As you can see, the heights are there. You no need to model them in your software, 3D software, and you don't need to extrude them. You don't need to go around all the lines. Maybe you took them from AutoCAD and then you started going around all the lines. Everything will appear for you according to the map that you, like the spot that you use, or the spot that you actually place your model in, and all the surrounding will be appearing for you. Let us just give it a few seconds to download all the textures. It's a very powerful tool. So usually the students, what they do, they model the surrounding area and they go line by line and then they extrude it and then they bring it back to Lumion. So With the OpenStreetMap feature, you don't need to do all of this. It's going to be modeled for you directly inside your Lumion. So we are almost done here. Yes. So this is the building. So ignore that our building is flying because we did it for a purpose. If we go around, this is the satellite map. And this is the area that I actually choose. Of course, the area could be bigger, smaller, depends on what you want. And what I can control more, I can control to have the water, close it. If there is water, if you are next to sea or something like this, the earth, I can keep it as satellite. The buildings, add on or off, satellite, on or off, landscape or the land use, the roads, on off. And of course, you can change the heights of buildings around. Okay. Here, the buildings around, we can change the heights. We can randomize the building height. So, for example, in real life, they are not all of them with the same height. So you can randomize this. And of course, you can select a preset. A preset means that I can give it a different visualization. So this is the original one. I can change the visualization. I can add colors. So in case if you are using Lumion to show your process or to show your decision-making process into like zoning or something like this, then it is really nice to show something around your building and to be able to place your building and control it in such a way. So the OpenStreetMap is a really nice tool. Okay, so we will take the questions inshallah at the end. So keep your questions and we'll take them at the end inshallah. Okay. So this is the OpenStreetMap. It's really interesting. It's gonna help you and it's gonna actually like reduce the time that you need to model everything around, and it is very realistic according to accurate movement, accurate buildings, and accurate surrounding of your building. For now, I will close it because I want to go back to our project, and this is it. I will take the building, so the building again is flying, so I will go back to the content. I will select my building, and then I will take it down. We're going to take a look about how to do everything here just in a few minutes. Most probably this will be just fine for me. I will go back to the landscape tab. And finally, we have the landscape grass. So this is something, again, if you want it to be open or closed, you can add grass and this will be added all around. So I can change the type of grass that I have, maybe one with flowers, and then I can differentiate the wildness of this flower. I can increase the size. Here it's not showing because we're putting a preset from the paint. Okay, if we removed the paint, then we will be able to see this in a very easy way. So this is again, so I can paint the grass, I can paint the landscape, and I can create any type of landscape around my building inside Lumion. So this is our building so far. Next step is we try to give materials to our building elements, and I'm going to go a little bit here so we can see what we can give. The material tab, you just have to click it. How it works, you need to select any of those surfaces, and as you can see, all the surfaces with the same colors are selected at the same time. So this is 1, this is 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. So if I clicked on this one, now I'm inside the materials library of Lumion. And actually the library of materials in Lumion is a very rich library. First, there are 5 tabs basically. The first tab is various tabs. So you can have grass in 2D, you can have grass in 3D. And guys, remember something, that you can only change the colors for the models that you import, but not again for the landscape or anything that is originally there in Lumion. Why? Because landscape can only be changed by landscape, not by the materials. So here I can add maybe 3D grass, and as you can see, I will just give it to the building so you can easily see how this is realistic. 3D grass, 2D grass, maybe rocks around. All this is very realistic, and we're going to learn how to give it more realistic look. Soil, okay, water. So in case if you don't want to place it with the water and you don't want to place ocean, then easily you can just place it like a flat surface that you imported from your 3D software, and then you just give it a water material, and it will have the same exact look. Wood, leaves, and then we have some kind of gold or metal. All these colors are also available, and fur for any kind of fabrics or any kind of material of any kind of like models that have fabrics with it, something like this. So this is the first tab. The second tab is the indoor tab. So same thing, you're gonna have fabric, glass, leather, metal, plaster, wood, tiles, all this just with one click, and you can just assign them to your model. So this works for the interior spaces. So if we are here inside the interior space, let me just go a little bit higher and try to penetrate here, and we want to change this one, then we can go back, interior, and let's say that I want to give it a plaster color. So I can give it this kind of color. Do you see, like kind of textured plaster? And you can even now give it more realistic look by just clicking, double click on any of those materials. It's gonna take you to inside the edit mode of this material. So inside the edit mode, a lot of things can be changed. You can change the color. So maybe I don't want this color for my plaster, so I can give it another color. Okay, and then increase the colorization, something like this. Okay, and I can give it glossiness. So in case if you are using any kind of material that you need to add glossiness to it, I can increase the reflectivity of my material, and of course you can see now how it is reflected directly. You can increase the relief, so I can make it more kind of like articulated, like shown or not. Displacement, give it more movement, and also scale. So I can change the scale of my material, increase, decrease, depending on how you want to show it. Not only this, but again, we can go into advanced editing for our materials, where we can check the position, we can move it, offset it for any of the directions, X, Y, or Z. We can change the orientation according to your preference. You can change the transparency, so I can give it a transparent look if I want. You see now it is transparent because we have another material at the back here. And finally, you can make it emissive, so you can make it a self-illuminating material if you want, and you can work on all these settings, and you can give it kind of what you can see an effect done by the weather. So if you want this material to show, let's say, an iron or a stone effect or something like this, you just need to check this, and then you increase the weathering. And now the wood effect that I chose is affecting my material. So this will give you more, what we can say, like, it gives more design opportunities and gives more design like looks for your building, and it allows you actually to explore more into your design. And finally, I can add some foliage on my material. So in case if you are using this outside, like let's say a boundary, a house boundary or something like this, I can now add randomly leaf size, spread it all over, and then of course I can control the color of those leaves. Just give me a second. We can now change the type, yes, here. So this is very realistic and easily to be controlled and easily to change and spread all over. So a green wall maybe, if you want to do something like this in your project. So this is regarding the interior materials. What about the exterior materials? Of course, we can work on it. So again, this is the material. I can go back. The outdoor materials, again, they are available. I want to add maybe stone look, so it will look good with my surrounding or my whole environment. I can add maybe something like this. Yeah, this will be good. Okay, and then I will work on it. I will increase the here, sorry, I will increase the relief, something like this, and I will add the scale, so I will make it smaller scale, and then I will change this one to an outdoor wood style, Maybe something like this will work fine. And then again, double click to work on the relief. And then I will try to reduce the scale or increase it as you like. What about this part? So I can give it just a paint if I want. So again, outdoor, I can give it a plaster, and then this one will be fair enough. Let me check it. Yeah, this one is fair enough for me. And finally, let me now work on the glass. Or let me again change, I will change this one to give it the same material of this part. So again, outdoor, stones, I think it was here. This is it. Yeah, so it will match the properties. And here, the glass. Actually, you have a very wide range of glass, indoor and outdoor. Very realistic ones. Very pure glass inside with different colors, with different textures. So you can see that texture now is added to my glass outside. Here, any of those types can actually apply with different colors to your building. This is one of the most powerful things in Lumion, where you can get actually a very realistic look for your glass around. Finally, I'm just gonna change this one very fast. I'm gonna give it maybe a metal look. Let me check. No, this is too much. Or darker. I can give it something like this. Just very fast. I changed all the materials for my building, and now they are more realistic. They are more going well with the surrounding. So this is number 3. Once you finish, make sure that you will click on Save Changes, not Remove, because if you clicked here, this will be gone. Save Changes will allow you to enter here inside. Okay, so this is our 3rd tab. And let us come now to our 4th tab, which is the library. The library, actually, we have a lot of things to cover inside the library. First, we talked about how to import models, and this is where we can import. Here, this is for nature, for very fine detail nature, people and animals, indoor furniture, outdoor transport, lights, and some special effects that we're gonna find here. So, to start with maybe nature, for example, again, when you try to choose any of those categories, you have to work on the edit tools that you have here. The edit tools first, place. So when you click on the place mode, this is the place mode. The library will open for you, and you have a very huge, wide range library of different nature elements, as you can see, very realistic ones. And of course, you can select, so anytime that you place anyone, you can select it, and then you can move it up, down freely. We're gonna place some of the stuff right now. So let's say, for example, that I want to place a tree, a big one, something like this, here at the back of my building. Actually, I want it to be bigger and taller, something like this. Yeah, so I can place it here. And now I can just, with the select tool, I can move it in a free way around. I can move it up, down. Okay. I can move it to horizontal movement. And then also I can type in. So I can just position it according to coordinates of X, Y, and Z. Okay, so this is how to use this. We can also rotate. So I can rotate easily by moving around. Or I can just by using the tabs here, and I can also type in, double click, and then I can type in the rotation that I want here, enter, and this is the rotation. Again, we have the scale, same way, move it down, up, according to the scale that you want. And finally, we have the delete. I will come back to the placement mode, because in the placement, we have a lot to cover. And actually, this is a new features inside Lumion. How can I place, or maybe it comes to your mind, should I now go with 3 by 3, placing it individually, or can I do something easier to place more trees in a different way? And here, in the placement mode, you're going to have 4 different placement modes. First one is the single placement, the one that we just used. Just single tree will be placed. We have the mass placement, and for the mass placement actually is a complete line or path of trees can be placed. And now I can control, I can add more types. So in case if I want more types than this one, so I can click on another type and then click on add it. And now as you can see, I have different, and I can control the number of items. I can control the direction. I can randomize the direction to make it more realistic. So each of them is rotating in a different way. Okay. I can randomize the spacing along, so it will not look very kind of rigid that each of them is actually placed to a certain placement. And finally, I can randomize the offset from the line. So I can make something like this, and I can randomize them. So at the end, you'll be able to place more items with just a small click, which is the path placement. So this is number 2. Number 3 is we have a cluster placement, and cluster placement, one type where I can actually place different at the same time. So here again, maybe I want something like this. And I do always recommend to use this in your background. So don't show like empty spaces, but go around and place some cluster randomly around your buildings. So something like this. And you can of course delete it if you want. So I can, for your delete and for a tip for you, you can click on Control on your keyboard and then make a selection box like this. And then all of them are selected, and then you can delete them in just one small click. Finally, we have a paint placement. For the paint placement, I will, for example, choose this one, and I can just paint it around. You see how fast is it? So I can make a complete forest just with a small clicks. And again, I can use to erase some of them in the same way until you reach the way that you want to show, and then you can continue. So here, I will place some of those trees around. So maybe I will choose different trees, so you can use different, and you can work on the density of those trees. This is very small, so I will go back. I want something that is in between. So I can decrease the density here. So I want my whole building around to have this kind of landscape. Just randomly done, because when I want to take renders, I don't want to show anything here around. So go back again to the position that you want to take your renders from. Something like this. And let's say here I still have opening, so I can place, I can go around. And now I can see that all of the trees are around my place. What things also I can add flowers, so I can place some of the flowers here. Density, I will decrease it. Maybe we want some flowers here. Okay, so you can see randomly putting some flowers here and there. I can put some rocks because this will add realistic look for my placement here. This is randomized around here maybe. Okay, this is good. I will increase a little bit of density. Okay, I can put some grass, so I can add here actually this around if you want, just with the cluster or the paint placement. And a lot of things could be added. If you want more realistic look, then you can add some leaves here and there around, moving. Okay, so it depends on what you want and how you want to show it. When you are in or you are fine, you can click on confirm, and here you get your whole surrounding in just a few clicks. I will add more here just for the reason of closing this before we go. Maybe I will add, I want huge trees, and you can go around, make some of them your favorites by just clicking on your favorite here. And then when you go back to the favorite, you will find the thing that you used before is there. So it is easier and faster if you want to achieve what is your favorite in a very easy way. So I'm going back again here. I'm just trying to place, because when we go to the render, we want to see what actually we have done in this sense, just around. As you can see, it's very powerful when it comes to landscape, so I recommend that don't place landscape in your original 3D program. Keep it to Lumion and you will be amazed by the landscape that Lumion can add to your project. I can also add here small shrubs around, maybe something like this here around. Yes, to close this. And again, I will use this. This one is very long. I will use this one. And then maybe some painting here and there to close this empty space around my building. Now it's good. So I will close the landscape part. Here the fine detail. All of these are very fine detail done trees, but remember that means that it will take more time when you render. What about people? So people, a wide variety of people around, and birds, fish. So I can add here fish. So I can add one here, maybe, if you want, and then I select it and take it down. As you can see, it's swimming inside. Okay, I can add a bird that is actually moving, like it is moving, so I can add this one here. You will see it moving here around. Okay, and this is the duck maybe, so I will place it somewhere here, something like this, and then horizontally taking it to the near here. And you can have a wide range of different elements inside Lumion. What about the indoor and outdoor furniture? Again, a very wide range of furniture is available inside Lumion, where you can just freely place them. Outdoor, chairs, anything else, transport, cars. Maybe we want to add, let's say, bicycle here somewhere. And if you notice that the bicycle is not well placed into your landscape, so there's a small tip for this. You go to the select, you select it, and then you go here. This window will appear for you. Go for the advanced options and you click on comfort to landscape, and now it will be placed according to your landscape. So this is small tools, but it adds a lot if you want to change, and it will help you to add it. Actually, I will place it here. So again, I can click on place it well, and will be this is it. And then we come to the lighting, so we can place a wide range of different lighting. And the good thing about it is that I can see directly the effect of this light without the need of render. So if I chose this one and I come here to place it, you can see that the effect is really clear about placing this. Here the same thing. What if I change it? Again, here again, and you can even download more of different lightings for your scenes. Different lightings here. See, I can put this inside the water. I can put a complete area, and you can just control it for the interior and the exterior as well. This is totally free and totally easy, as you can see. So this is again the lighting. Let us come to special effects. Special effects, you have here kind of fountain movement or fountain way. So I can give it like fountain. I can make it what we call it different types of fountains. It is there, something like this. So again, it is realistic, and a fountain wall also could be added. So I can add this one here, maybe somewhere on the side. I can add it here, and then you try to rotate it. So I will rotate it around, something like this. And again, I can control the size, and I will take it in a vertical and horizontal way inside my building, something like this. Okay, something like this. And I can now decrease and increase the water pressure. And of course, if you added here a fixture, it will be more kind of realistic. So this is for the special effects. You can also add fire. Again, a very realistic fire look. Smoke, same way. What about fog? Again, the whole building. And finally, leaves if you want them to be randomly like moving around your building. What about sound? We have a very wide range of sounds here. You can add this, and it's actually we're gonna show inside your movie. Okay, depending on things, maybe car parking, music, bar, anything, you can add this to your building. Finally, the utilities is something that we're gonna talk about after, inshallah, when we go to the render, because this will allow you to take a cut inside your building and actually show it kind of a plan view, rendered plan view. This is all in the clip plane. The grid, if you want to place a grid here, let me go a little bit wider. So if you want to place a grid all around, maybe you are using Lumion for visualization of your like certain decision making, process making, or something like this. So you have a grid, the measure. So this is a new, so you can add a measurement here. And actually it will show when it goes to, we have a rock here on top. So this is a measure, and you can add this measure around so it will show. And then finally you can control more the reflection, and you can add text. We will leave all this around, so I will just need to delete this. And I will go back to the nature. Remember that anytime that you want to delete any of those elements that you added, you have to go to the tab or to the group that this element is according to. So as you can see here, I am opening the nature part, so I cannot change anything that has to relate, for example, to the model or something like this, only the nature. If I went to the human being, and only the human beings or the people are able to move. So make sure that you are selecting the right group before you change or to delete any of those elements. I'm going to delete those because it's not correct. And that's it. And maybe I'm going to just add one person, maybe swimming. So again, you'll be able to find here a swimming person. Something like this. And then add it here around. You can see it's swimming if you want. I do believe that adding those kind of figures that they are not really with detail can add more to your building. And of course we can change the color by just selecting, and we can change the color that we want, white, black, anything. This again depends on what you want inside your visualization. I will delete this. Okay, I will keep this person around. So moreover, we are totally done with building our project. We went through the weather, the landscape, the material, and finally the library. We are done with totally building it inside Lumion. I can now start going to the photo, which is the render image, and I can also go to the movie. I will start with the photo image. And the first thing that you're gonna see here in the photo image, that you have first kind of a timeline or like a sequence of your photos, and you need first to position your camera. So do I need to go to the build environment and position it? No, you don't need to do this. All what you need to do is to just come to this view or preview window, and the same things that we used before in the build area can be used here. So I can just go around, I can use the mouse, I can do the keyboard, everything just regularly similar to what we did before. And once you are okay with the placement of your camera, and remember the placement of the camera is really important, then you need to just click on Store Camera. And then now you can go to the second one, and then you can go around again. Maybe I need it to be from this side this time, something like this, and then again store the camera and so on. So this is regarding the cameras. Anytime that you need to update, you just need to click inside here, and here you can control your camera basically. So you can control the horizontal line. So here, this is the horizontal line, this is the eye level, this is 1.6, but of course, since my building is already above, so we can just keep this one similar. This is it. I can control the focal length by in and out, and you can just store the camera, and the camera will be stored again as you want. Not only doing the camera in this way, but again, we need to add some kind of render effects. Rendering effects inside Lumion is again very powerful. So you just need to click on this custom style, and inside there are some presets. So Those presets are already there with all effects where you can edit, you can add, you can remove according to those presets. So if you look for the realistic one, if we clicked on realistic and we clicked here to update, so this is the realistic mode. Okay, it has all different effects, real skies, sharpen, the exposure, the color correction, reflections, and so on. Everything is just ready for you. So you don't need to put any effects. You just need to click on any of those effects and have them. Maybe you need a night effect. Okay, this is something that you can have. You want maybe an overcast effect. Again, you can click on it. So this is one way. And you can directly take this one to render and you start rendering your project. If you want to do your custom, and I do believe that all of you want to do such a thing, so custom style. And now I will start adding my effects. How can I add my effects? You just have to click on FX here to add your effects. A very wide range of effects that you have inside Lumion. I will not look for the features because the features are featured are the ones that they are favorite. I'm gonna go, for example, if you are looking for sun, then I can add a sun study. And inside the sun study, this is just one example. If I clicked here, I'll be able to check where exactly my project is located at, and it is located in Bahrain. Maybe this is it. And now the sun is actually realistic according to a real calculations or a real situation of Bahrain. And I can control the hours of my sun. I can control the minutes. What about the days, the month, the year? What about the latitude and the longitude of my sun? I can offset it. So this sun is basically according to a sun that is actually in Bahrain. So this is also something good. If you want to do any sun study or to do your project according to real situation, then you can add the sun study. If you don't want this, if you want back here again, you can be able to disable the effect or enable it. And if you don't want it, you can just double click to remove it. What else we can have in the sun? You can add another sun. This is kind of a rays that shows for you sunlight. What about the weather? I can add some real movement of rain. What about the sky? I can change even the sky. So I can, for example, I will add some clouds different than this one. I can change the position. I can give them some speed. So when we go to the movie, they are actually going to be moving. I can increase the high, the lower, the brightness, anything inside my clouds. And then again, I will maybe put the sun here again, and I can now change the sun, the heading of the sun, something like this, the brightness, the sun disk size. So this is all things that you can change inside the effects. What also, this is the sky objects. So you can, again, do some effects. So I do recommend that you will go around all those effects and try to see how they are going to affect your renders. For the camera, I do always use the 2-point perspective. So it will give a 2-point perspective look for the building without the need of, let's say, something like this. Okay, and you can enable or disable. See now the difference. Now this is 3D and this is a 2-point perspective. And you can increase or decrease the amount of the effects on your building. What else we can use in the camera? We can use a lot of things actually. The camera, how it is positioned. What about the depth of field? What about the exposure? What about the tilt shift? So you can tilt your camera. And finally, the thing that all of you are looking for, how can we export or we can have a 2D rendered image? Because here again, it's still 3D. It's not an elevation. So how can I achieve such a thing? This is actually a new feature in Lumion. It's just added newly in Lumion 11 that if you clicked on orthographic view and then you enable the orthographic view and then you come here if you want to have it a plan. So this is a totally 2D plan where you can render and you can change the heading of your plan. And if you want it as elevation, so this is my elevation. And let me move around, something like this. Okay, this is elevation. Let me go a little bit higher. And now I can easily render this elevation. So I have a 2D exact drawing without having any 3D, and you can just have it for your instructor just with all colors, with all materials, as easy as this. And now you can control something what we call the near clip and the far clip. The far clip is that anything around here at the back of your building, so you can cut them actually, and you can choose what to show. So here the building, some trees, maybe I want the sky to show a little bit more until the full. And the near clip, what I want to like cut from the front of the building around and coming back. So let's say that I want to show everything in my building, but the far clip I want to show a little bit of the sky. This is fair enough. And now let me zoom in a little bit and then go to the left, maybe to the right, sorry, and a little bit here on front and a little bit zooming out. Okay, this is it. When you are in Lumion, actually you cannot control it. You will keep updating and you will keep changing and you keep seeing what is happening inside. So if I clicked here and give it a realistic mode, this is my elevation, and now I can render it. We will render it just soon after we just finish some of the stuff. I will go back to the custom style, and inside the custom style, this is all just disabled. What else I can have? Animation, this is regarding the movie. Artistic look, so maybe I want my building to show in a sketchy way, in a like kind of a watercolor way. So this is something also that you can achieve, and you can now work on the color variation. So you can make it totally white, something like this, like it's a real elevation, or transparency. What about the density of the color? And you can change the strike of the line itself. So this is all things that you can control inside the effects. Again, this is all effects that you can work. And finally, this is the advanced part. The advanced part, you can add more reflection of your elements, so it would really be reflecting the elements around if it's not. And you can work on the shadows. What about the illumination and different stuff in the advanced? So I will come back here again, and we will go directly to how to render. I will go here and maybe I will check on realistic. So this is it. I will maybe try to go around here. So I will move. I don't want actually the sun to be hitting my ear. So I will go to the skylight. Let me see. It's the real skies. Yes, I can just a little bit move it around. So this is, for me, is fine. How can I render? You go to the render photo here. Let me just restore the camera again. Render photo. And this is the mode of rendering your photo, or the mode that's gonna show for you. You can do two things. You can render it only with the current shot, or you can have a different, like multiple shots together, and you render them one time. Of course, the time here will be more, but of course you can just add and remove, and you can do them just one time. So in case if you want to do everything one time, and for example, you are taking a break from working on your design, then you can just keep your laptop rendering without the need of going every time and trying to select another shots. So if I do the current shot only, what I have in the output, I have four different modes. The email, so this is the resolution of the email. This one will be very small, this one desktop, this one print, and this one poster. So as you can see, when we are moving from here to there, the resolution of the render photo will increase, and of course the time will increase. So every time that you're increasing the resolution, the time of the render will increase. Usually, for example, if I chose to have a desktop, I will name it here maybe 1. Save usually takes about 16 seconds to do it. So yeah, do you see here it is 16 seconds? So imagine that you're gonna have this render for you in just 16 seconds. And now we can take a look to this render. This is the render that we have for only 16 seconds. And as you can see, we did it in less than an hour, let's say. And of course, it needs a lot of different adjustments. I'm just trying to do it fast for you for the sake of time. I will go back to Lumion, and this is okay for me. So this is how to render inside Lumion, and you can have different photos. Now let me render for you the elevation, so you can see that it's a real elevation. I will change this a little bit. 0, and here 0. I will go to the left and maybe a little bit to the front. Yes, so this is a real elevation. I'm going to store it, render, and then I will render the elevation. Here again, desktop maybe, and then 2, and then save it. I think this is less than, it's 4 seconds, okay? So this is elevation in just 4 seconds. We can go back to the folder that we have here where I'm storing everything, and this is 2D elevation. Ignore this person, he is flying. So this is the 2D elevation inside your Lumion project. So this is for the photo render. Let us now go to another thing into Lumion. What about movie? I want to create a movie inside Lumion. Before we leave, I want to actually show you how we can make kind of section. The same thing for the orthographic can work here. So if we went back here to the orthographic mode, and we went here and we want to increase this one to 90, so now I have a plan view, and actually I'm gonna do it something like this. And if you work with the near clip and the far clip, the same thing will happen. So I will use the shift here, so I just need to change a little bit around here. So you are actually cutting through your building. Okay. I'm cutting through the building through just the orthographic mode, without the need of, you see here, I'm cutting throughout the building in the orthographic mode, without the need of I will change this a little bit here, without the need of cutting any plane. So this is one way. You can even render this plan, render the plan, 2D view, just directly like this. The other way is that we can add now a cutting plane inside Lumion, and you can have a section for it. The same thing, if we went here, see this is the section, by the way. So again, if you work on the clip plane, you can cut a section and you can do it. But you can also do a clipping plane. So I will go back to the build environment, which is it is in the utilities. And in the utilities, I want to place a clip plane. I will go higher so you can see what I mean. That if we try to place it here, somewhere like here, okay, you can see that this is now, let me show it for you. I will take it a little bit down. And here, yeah, so I will go up and show you that it is actually cutting through a plan. I will go to the render now and we can see how things will work here. So this is actually cutted, so I will add just an orthographic effect. I will enable it, full. Now I'll go back, front. Okay, so this is only for the cutting plane, not for the near clip and far clip. So back again, if we went here to the build environment, I can even move it a little bit higher here. So again, if we went to the photo, different things is showing and so on. Store the camera. And you can do it for a section. If you are asking about something like this, then we can tilt it around. Just move it fast. Tilt here. Around. And then I can rotate it. With the section, I will rotate it to the other side. So this is actually a section, and then I can, this is a complete section inside the building, and I can even now move it into that direction. This is a section. See, this is a section, and you can take this shot from this part. I will remove this effect now. So when we try to take a photo, then again a section is there for you, and you can control it as much as you can. So this is sections and elevation through two ways, either the orthographic effect or through the orthographic effect or through the cutting plane that you have. So let us now end the render since we have like 15 minutes, and let us go now to the movie mode. So the movie mode, once you open it, the same thing you will find, the same scenes or the same keyframes. And you have actually three different options: to record, to make your own movie, to add an image. So in case if you want to add an image showing your project name, your name and your ID, maybe your university name at the beginning, so you can add here an image at the beginning of your movie, and then it will show once you open the movie. And you can even add a movie at the beginning. And this is something that I used back in like 2015 when I was doing my graduation project. And I got a movie. It was an aquarium, so I got a movie from YouTube about the water and the sea and the ocean and so on. And I added at the beginning of my movie like very small little like 20 seconds. And then once it is finished, now they can relate inside your own movie. So those are the three options that you need to have inside a movie mode. So if you clicked on record, and this is the thing that we're gonna do, and the same thing now will work. Let me, I will remove this. I will take the cutting plane again to its original position. And why? Because I don't want it. I don't want it to actually show. Utilities, and then let me go on top. It's not showing. Let me go back. Okay, here it is. This is it. Okay, I just deleted it. Okay, fine. And then back to the movie mode. So I will record a movie, and let me now start locating my scenes. So I will start my movie from this perspective. Once it is okay for you, you just click on add keyframe or camera frame. 1. I want now to move around my building to show something like this. The camera is moving, and then this is another keyframe, and maybe it will move and then we'll go up or something like this. This is the third one, and finally I can go a little bit zoom in to show my building, and this is number 4. So now I have 4 different keyframes inside my movie. The total timing of my clip is 14 seconds, and of course I can change this one. So I can come to one of them and then change the timing, or I can just edit this, add or remove, so I can increase. Of course, if I increase the time, what happens is that the movement will be slower. If I decrease, the movement will be faster according to the time. So this is 20, for example. And now I can watch my movie before I finish this edit mode. So this is the movie that you have inside. And of course, you need to be creative when it comes to how to visualize it in animation. Animation is very something, it's very unique and very nice. So you need to be creative when it comes to animation inside. What if I think that this maybe move is not okay and I need to go a little bit zoom in? So you go to the keyframe, you maybe zoomed in a little bit, and then you just update the camera frame. If you want to add, you can just insert a camera frame in between, and you can move them up at the beginning or at the end, depending on what you want. Make sure that you will open this FX, because if it is closed, that means that you will not be able to add any effects. If it is open, then again, you can add any effects. Once everything is done, this is an easy, straightforward way to do your movie. We're back again here. All what you need to do is to add maybe an effect. Here I'm adding a realistic effect to it. And you can render this clip alone, you can delete it, or you can add different clips here, and then you can render them all together like one whole movie. If you want to edit any of the position of your movie, then you can go again to edit clip, and then you change any of those similar to what we did. If not, we are good, and then you can play it. So I can play my movie now, and I can see what I've done with the animation. This is a simple way to do an animation, and let's just check how to render it. Again, you can just render the clip here, and inside rendering, you have a little bit here different than what we did in the rendering images. You can render the entire clip, and now you can control the quality, of course. When you increase the quality, it means that more time. You can increase the frames per second, same thing as well. And now you have different resolutions of your clip. Of course, any clip will be in before. Okay. Okay. So you can, anytime you increase more time, so you can have it small HD, full HD, quad HD, and ultra HD for your clip. If you are going to present it online, don't go more than HD. It's already going to take some time to do it. So rendering HD, it will take about an hour, something like this. And of course, this will increase according to the length of your clip. So this is the entire clip. You can just render the current frame as a photo, and you can render the whole clip as a sequence of photos. Let's say, for example, that you like some of the shots of your movie and you want them to be rendered as photos. Then again, you can render this only as photo, not clip, like sequence of images. So here, if I clicked on it, it will take some time. I will check if this is okay. So here, movie. I just want to show something before we end this. How long it will take. See, it will take roughly 20 minutes. So I will stop the render, and then that's it. And now I'm going to show you something. What if I want to edit this? I will add just one keyframe, maybe on top, something like this. And then I will put this keyframe. I will increase this timing for 15. Guys, as you know, that this is just trying to navigate you inside Lumion. I am giving you basics that will help you to start your projects. Going into Lumion and inside deeply, it will take time. Need from you to practice, need from you to work. It's not just one shot. So there are much more than this into Lumion, and of course, inshallah, we are looking to do more series regarding the animation, inshallah, in future. What I want to show you here is that I'm going back to the build part, and I'm going to add this thread here. Okay, and then I will take it a little bit higher. So what if I want to make some kind of animation that will cut through my building? This is it. Somehow we'll go back into the movie, and now I can add something or effects special for animation like the move. All these are advanced effects, and inshallah, looking forward to do them after. So if I clicked on edit, I can choose this utility or the cutting plane. I will click on the end position, and I want the end position to be somewhere down. And now, okay. So let me open this. You see what's happening? I'm cutting through my building through the cutting plane. Of course, this is a little bit, let's say, I will decrease this. So you can see the time is a little bit too much. So this is it. Then I can update the camera frame back again here. Let us look how this will move. Now this is much faster. So using two things, clipping plane and the movie mode, I am able now to create kind of section, a moving section inside my building. So these are just small tricks, yani they are not very obvious, but there are small tricks, and there are more and more in terms of animation, in terms of tricks inside Lumion. And what about if you want to move people? We can even do this. So if I want to place a person here, just I want to show you how to do it. You have to make sure that it's a walking person, because if it's not walking, then it will not look realistic. This is a working person here. If you went to the regular movie mode and the first one here, and we try to see what's happening with this person, he will not be moving. He will be moving just his leg, but not actually moving. So if you want him actually to move, then again effect, and then I will use move. We have different movements. Then I will go a little bit. Here you go, and then I'll go to edit. I will go to this person a little bit higher, and then the end position. I want this person to move, not up and down here, to move around until it reached this point, maybe. This is roughly. So now if we start the movie, you can see that he's moving actually from one side to another side just easily as this. So you remember when I said that we can render the whole clip? You can just look for the entire movie, so how it will start, and then we will go for example, a zoomed in clip showing the cutting planes and the motion inside your building. Something like this. This is the end of our first clip, and then this is the second clip. The cutting plane with, and of course you can just add the same edit movement to this person again. This is more or less things that you can do in Lumion. And just last tip for you is that if you look here up, you will find something called layers, okay? And layers, actually, it is working similar to the layers in AutoCAD. So actually, this is something that I would recommend you to do. If you have multiple stuff in your building model, like for example, you have one building, two buildings, and you have maybe floors, you have seating areas around that you modeled them specially for your project, then use layers because it's gonna make your project lighter. So for example, in this layer, I'm gonna add here a big tree somehow, maybe. Let me add something here, and I'm going to show you that this tree is added into this layer because now this is activated. If I went back to the original one, I want to close it. So now I can control and I can make my project lighter. I can easily work on it. So in case, and even you can do this for your building. It's for your in Lumion built environment. So before I place all those landscapes, all those trees and so on, I can now activate one layer and rename it as maybe trees. Okay. Tree. And then I can place all my trees in this layer. After I'm done, I don't want to be interrupted by those trees, or I want to make my project lighter. All what you need to do is to close it. You just have to, because this is the current, let me go here and close it, and then you will be able to control all the elements inside Lumion. So this is actually very good, and you can add a lot of different layers, and you can organize your project. And you don't need, for example, if you want to take render, you don't need to come back again and open all of them. Once you click on render, all of them will show. They will appear, and then you will be able to render just an easy way. This is all regarding Lumion. I hope I give you just kind of a quick insight, a quick way about how to do things inside Lumion. And imagine that we just did this. Of course, there is a lot to do more. We did this out of this in just, let's say, 1 hour. So imagine how many things that you can do just with your projects. Let me go back to this view so you can see what we are talking about. Yes, so we did this out of this, and we did the render easily for you. Something like this. This is all for our webinar. I hope that it was beneficial and it helped you through working inside Lumion. So please, if you have any question, I think that the chat is disabled. So if you have a question, I will be more than happy to reply or to answer your questions. I just have to raise your hand, and then inshallah I will allow you to open the mic. So any questions? Any questions? Okay, yes.
Yes, it is not a question. I'm Dr. Sharif Al-Wagi, Dean of College of Architecture, Engineering and Design in Kingdom University. And I would like really to thank you so much, Ms. Shurooq, for this beneficial webinar about Lumion. Actually, I see that about maybe 11 students attended, and sure, I will coordinate with the department chairpersons and colleagues to have maybe another one which can be given to our student. Thank you so
very
much.
Dr.
Thank
Sharif.
you.
Thank you very much for your attendance. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other question inside Lumion, or maybe any other software? All good. So we are expecting to see a lot of creativity in terms of visualization for your design project and for any other project that you are working on. Feel free to share any kind of questions, or in case if you have any queries for me, then my email will be okay, I have a question. Yes, Rihab?
I have a question. Is there a way to cut for mount or fill or something?
For what?
Cut or fill for the mountain?
Yes. You mean you want to remove them?
No, cut them, not remove them all.
What do you mean by cut them? Like a section?
No, like play with the shape of the mountain.
Oh yes, the one that they are there. Yes, you can do this. Just with the landscape, similar to what we did before, because this is generated to similar way that we did here. So the same thing that you can work it out. So you can see that this is done with the similar way that we did this one. So you can work on this. So if I did something like this, then I increase it. Let me increase the brush. And you can see that you can change. So in case if you want to smooth, again, you can work on this. So this is again smoothing. If you want to flatten, the same thing will work. So you can flatten the mountains around. Since it is done by the landscape itself, or done according to the landscape of the software, then you can easily just edit it. Does this answers your question, Rahab?
Yes, thank you.
Most welcome. Thank you. Any other questions regarding Lumion? All good? Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Huda, for attendance. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mariam. Yes. Mahmoud. Thank you very much. Thank you, Fatma, for your comment. So yes, you have to use this, and you have to show us your creativity through your designs. I wish that there's someone who's raising the hand. Yes, Safa.
Yes, hello, Doctor.
Hello, Safa.
When I open the software, what does it mean if it says to me the benchmark is 0?
You need to work on the properties of your computer. So I do recommend that benchmark is 0. That means that the properties of your computer is not really working well with the project or the software. So I do recommend that you go to the settings here, try to minimize a little bit of the quality, like make it medium to low quality, and edit the resolution. Of course, it's gonna affect a little bit your build environment. As you can see, it's not similar to what is before, but you will be able to navigate yourself. But when it comes to the render, it's not going to be affected. So the renders are not going to be affected at all. Remember this. So you can just work on the what we call it, the settings of the image, and then everything will work well.
Okay, thank you.
Most welcome. Anyone else? This is Safa. All good about Lumion? You don't have any questions? Yes, Dunya?
Hello, Ms.
Hello, Dunya.
So first of all, thank you for this beneficial session. I just have a question regarding like if I'm going to use Revit. Like for example, you said now we have to differentiate the walls depending on depending on the materials that we are going to use here in Lumion.
Yes.
So basically, in SketchUp, we just paint the walls, right? Like the interior or exterior.
Yes.
But when it comes to Revit, the exterior wall is same as the interior wall. So how do we can differentiate the materials?
When you go to Revit, you have something called the structure layers of Revit itself. Okay, so you need to add layers. So for the outside, you add one layer, and then for the inside, you add different material for the layer from inside. Okay, so you will have one layer for the exterior, one layer for the interior, which is different.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Most welcome. Yes, Alia.
Yes, hello, Miss.
Hello, Alia.
Thank you very much for everything. Well, it was really beneficial. Thank you again. I just have a question regarding the orthographics, I guess. Is it available in Lumion 10 as well, or that feature is only in Lumion 11?
Fortunately, it is from Lumion 11 onward. It is just created new in Lumion 11, so you're not gonna find it in Lumion 10. So
Okay,
11
so in
and
that
onward.
case,
Yes.
for the cutting, like cutting planes and sections and so on, we use the utilities feature.
Yes,
Am I
exactly.
right?
Yes.
Understood. All right, thank you very much.
Most welcome. Any other questions? So, if there is no questions, then we can conclude our session here. Right? And thank you very much for being in this webinar regarding Lumion. I hope it was beneficial and it will inshallah help you in your design. And looking forward for your feedback, for your like questions, anything. I'm totally available for any of those. And thank you for attending the webinar, and inshallah see you soon in different webinars regarding how to get more experience and more experting in Lumion animation. And wish you all of you the best, inshallah, and see you soon. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Most welcome. Thank you, Dr. Sharif.